from ignoring things that you shouldn't be ignoring.
Hello and welcome. Whatever your views of Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, it's hard to argue with their success at creating and leading innovative organizations with daring missions. Jeff Bezos leads Amazon and Blue Origin, the space company that wants to take you to the moon. Elon Musk leads Tesla and SpaceX, the space company that wants to take you to Mars to join a colony. Collectively, the companies they lead have generated over $1 trillion in market value over the past 10 years. Despite their differences, there are important similarities. For example, they both have successfully turned visions into reality by building and leveraging their innovative capital, their capacity to win resources and support to pursue radical new ideas. But beyond their innovative capital, these two leaders have led the way in markedly different ways. Bezos is very much a customer-first innovator.
We take this very seriously. We take the commitment to the customer very seriously.
He has established an innovation process at Amazon called Working Backwards, which takes as its starting point an obsessive focus on a customer's needs, and then works backwards to figure out how to innovate to best meet those needs. In contrast, Elon Musk uses what might be described as a technology-first approach. He picks what he perceives as a big, important problem that hasn't been solved because of technology constraints. He attributes his problem-solving success to first principles thinking. The first principles approach is the practice of identifying the fundamental key restraints to achieving a breakthrough in performance.
I thought that the most likely outcome was failure.
And then testing every option possible for eliminating one or more of those constraints. Musk and Bezos also differ dramatically in the way they voice or communicate visions and goals. Musk is very bold and public about voicing the lofty goals for his ventures. Bezos, on the other hand, is much more reserved. Jeff Bezos is known at Amazon for being the last to speak at meetings. He prefers to listen to what others have to say without biasing them by giving his opinions first. Musk pushes the agenda at Tesla and SpaceX forward at a much faster pace. He believes in first principles thinking. So if you want to convince him of something, then show him through first principles logic and analysis. Bezos leads by small, incremental, proof-driven steps towards outcomes that win him the credibility to continually do new things. Musk has taken what might be seen as a high-risk, high-reward approach of engaging in visionary thinking to win support for his ideas. He articulates a lofty and exciting vision for his ventures. While following different paths, both Bezos and Musk have successfully launched multiple innovations and have risen to the top of their fields. Their success through contrasting styles shows that innovative leadership doesn't rely on a predictable formula, but then if it did, everybody could do it.
People that you can hire in those early days, I think without that, it would never work.
Really liking what you do, whatever area that you get into, given that, even if you're the best, there's always a chance of failure. So I think it's important that you really like whatever you're doing. If you don't like it, life is too short. And also, if you like what you're doing, you think about it even when you're not working. I mean, it's something that your mind is drawn to, and if you don't like it, you just really can't make it work, I think.
I think it's also important to reason from first principles rather than by analogy. So the normal way that we conduct our lives is we reason by analogy. We're doing this because it's like something else that was done. It's like what other people are doing.
When you're building something new, there's going to be mistakes, and it's important to recognize those mistakes, acknowledge them, and take corrective action. And the success of a company is very much more about how quick are you to fix the mistakes, not will you make mistakes. And if you see the difference between a startup that is successful and one that is not, and it's because the successful one, they both made mistakes, but the successful one recognized the mistakes, fixed them very quickly, and the unsuccessful one tries to deny that the mistakes exist. If you only do things that are certain to succeed, then you're only going to be doing very obvious things. First of all, I really need to give some thought to how can I provide advice that would be most helpful, and I'm not sure I've given enough thought to that to give you the best possible answer. But I think certainly being focused on something that you're confident will have high value to someone else, and just being really rigorous in making that assessment, because people tend to, a natural human tendency is wishful thinking. So a challenge for entrepreneurs is to say, well, what's the difference between really believing in your ideals and sticking to them versus pursuing some unrealistic dream that doesn't actually have merit. And it's a really difficult thing to tell you. Can you tell the difference between those two things?
Right.
So you need to be sort of very rigorous in your self-analysis. I think certainly extremely tenacious and then just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in 80 to 100-hour weeks every week. All those things improve the odds of success. If other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that in 1 year you will achieve what they achieve in 4 months, what it takes them a year to achieve.
You can choose a life of ease and comfort, or you can choose a life of service and adventure. Which one of those, when you're 90 years old, are you going to be more proud of? And no matter how good we are, we can still be better. You can always be better. Customers have a divine discontent, and they teach you if you listen to customers. So we watch for that, and we see patterns, and we can find places where it's not working, something's going wrong, and that's really how I get the feedback, is from customer input. And often, in all caps, angry, you ruined my child's birthday because the gift didn't show up on time. And we take that, and what you really want to do is you take that, it's an anecdote, it's a single example, but you need to find the root cause. What went wrong deep inside the system? How did this happen? Because then you can fix it for everyone, so that particular problem will never happen again. You don't just fix the symptom, you have to fix the root cause. And that's been the secret to our operational success for 20 years. Do something you're very passionate about, and don't try to chase what is kind of the hot passion of the day. I think we actually saw this, I think you see it all over the place in many different contexts, but I think we saw it in the internet world quite a bit, where, at the sort of peak of the sort of internet mania in, say, 1999, you found people who were, very passionate about something. They kind of left that job and decided, I'm going to do something in the internet, because it's almost like the 1849 gold rush in a way. I mean, you find that people, if you go back and study the history of the 1849 gold rush, you find that, at that time, everybody who was within the shouting distance of California was, they might have been a doctor, but they quit being a doctor and they started panning for gold.